So there are a lot of different methods for the shortcut for subtracting integers. I personally like the 3 C's. I think 3 C's are easy to remember. And then you just have to remember the 3 words that go with the 3 C's, which for me is copy, change, change. Now, other teachers I know have done KAO, which is keep, and then add the opposite. And I've also seen keep, change, change, instead of copy, change, change, keep, change, change. So you can kind of pick which one you want to remember and keep with you kind of in your back pocket as a shortcut for subtracting integers. If you watch my videos, I'm going to be really focused on the 3 C's. I'll talk about copy, change, change each time that I do it. So it's personal preference, but that's my preference, are the 3 C's for copy, change, change. So on this first one, negative 23 minus negative 16. This is where we don't want to draw a picture every time. We do not want to have to model a picture every time, especially when we get to these bigger numbers, negative 23 minus negative 16. It's just going to take a lot of work. So we can kind of envision the picture in our head to see if our answer makes sense at the end, but I'm not going to draw it out every time. I'm going to use my shortcut, which is copy, change, change. So I'm going to copy the first number, 23. I'm going to change subtraction to addition, and then I'm going to change negative 16 to positive 16. Now, keep, add, the opposite is the same thing. We're going to keep negative 23, and then we're going to add the opposite of negative 16 is positive 16. Keep, change, change means we're going to keep negative 23, change subtraction to addition, and change negative 16 to positive 16. So any of these methods work. They're the same exact thing. It's just a different letters and different saying. So copy, change, change gets me to negative 23 plus 16. This is now where I'm going to have to come back and use my adding rules, where if I have different signs, I subtract and keep the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. So 23 minus 16 is 7, and I'm going to keep the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. In this case, negative 23 is further away from 0, so it has a greater absolute value, and so my answer is going to be negative 7. And if I picture the subtraction that I had, negative 23 negatives, and I take out 16 of them, it seems reasonable that I would be left with 7. So again, picturing the picture or the model could help us, but I'm not going to do it for every problem because it'll just take too much time. So then we've got 35 minus negative 9. And I'm not going to draw a picture. I'm going to use copy, change, change. Copy 35, change subtraction to addition, and change negative 9 to positive 9. We've been doing this for a really long time, probably since, I don't know, 2nd grade maybe. 35 plus 9 is 44, and that is my answer. Again, we can come back to our adding rules. When signs are the same, we add and we keep the sign. So because both of these are positive, 35 plus 9 is 44, and we keep the positive sign, which is really just an invisible, we don't put a positive sign out front in front of positive numbers, and we've got 44. If I were you, I would pause the video and try letter F on my own, and then unpause to see if you get it right. So letter F says negative 58 minus 14. Hopefully you tried it on your own, and you kept negative 58. Copy, and then you changed subtraction to adding, and then you changed positive 14 to negative 14. And so this is where, again, some teachers think that keep, add, the opposite makes a little bit more sense because you keep and then you add. The opposite of 14 is negative 14. Either way, it gets us all to the same point. Now we've got numbers that have the same sign, negative 58 and negative 14, and looking at our adding rules, if signs are the same, they're going to be friends and make a bigger army. So they're going to add, and we're going to keep their sign. So I'm going to add the absolute values. 58 plus 14 is 72, I think. And then I keep the sign, which should be negative, so my answer here is negative 72. Negative 58 minus 14 is negative 72.